Why do I always say that? You can't go wrong. You can go wrong. You might be able to go wrong. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to a new video. Hey, welcome back. I'm Nick Fast. This week, we're going to be doing a vinyl tag. I got the idea from Dylan over at Noble Records. If you want to go check out his channel, I'll leave a link in the description. Vinyl tag is pretty much like 20 questions to get to know one another in the vinyl community. So I thought I would give it a shot. You guys can see a couple of things that make up my collection. If you could like this video and subscribe, I post a new video every week. And don't forget to comment on what you guys are listening to today. First question is your favorite record from your hometown or state. Atmosphere, God Loves Ugly. Rhymesayers is out of the Twin Cities. I'm only a few hours away from there. Grew up listening to Atmosphere. This is a great album, front to back. There's a lot of good artists coming out of the Twin Cities, but this one was an easy pick for me. The next question is a highly recommended album. This is a great album. Grieves, Together Apart. I always recommend this. He's a Seattle rapper, signed to Rhymesayers, out of the Twin Cities. Highly recommend. The next question is tip for beginners. Quality over quantity. When I started collecting records, if I just saw some that I thought would be good, I would grab them all up. I ended up having to get rid of half my albums because most of them were garbage albums, Christmas albums, things that you're not really going to listen to. Always look for quality over quantity. Question number 4. First record that really got you into deeper music. I would say Godson by Nas. This really got me looking into different rap music. I went back into his catalog. I absorbed all of his music like a sponge. Everything from Tribe Called Quest, Gang Starr, Biggie, Tupac. I just went down a huge rabbit hole. Curtis Blow, started looking up samples. This album really got me into rap music, really made me go look and see where everyone that's rapping today comes from, or back in 2002 when this album came out. Next question, an obscure record people may not know about. This one was kind of hard for me. I don't know many obscure albums. I'm not that far in deep, I guess. But I did pick one out that a lot of people don't seem to know was ever pressed on vinyl. The Spill Canvas, Scraps. This is signed a couple years ago, so it's not the original members, but it does have Nick Thomas on there. But this is pretty much the No Really I'm Fine album that came out later 2000s. And then they also have a few scraps on there. You know, just kind of like a small EP. They're out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is the only Spill Canvas vinyl that I know of, besides Nick's solo stuff. I picked this for my obscure. I don't think it's that obscure. Next one is a group that you collect all of their albums. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone who's seen this channel. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I collect pretty much anything Tom Petty. Magazines, 45s, cassettes, CDs, records. This is a live album. They put out a couple singles with this when it came out in the 80s. So they had Spike on there. But Spike's not on the actual album. It was just on the single, like a B-side. Anything Tom Petty, you know I'm trying to get. A band whose second album is better than their first. So it's not really a band, but a rapper. Machine Gun Kelly's General Admission. This is his second album on Bad Boy Records. This album didn't do that great compared to the stuff he's been doing recently. This is a better album than his first one. The first one was kind of it felt more like a compilation of songs he had already recorded when that album came out because they kept putting out so many singles with it. This album is really good if you're into rap music. It's got Till I Die on it, Alpha Omega, great album. Next one is a random pick, so I guess I just kind of have to search. Lil Dicky, professional rapper. This is kind of a comedian rapper. This was his first album. If you've heard of Lil Dicky, he just kind of makes funny songs. This has Let Me Freak on it, Molly, Save That Money, Pillow Talk with Brain on there, if you know what Brain is. This is a surprisingly good album. I mean, for being kind of more of a comedy album and kind of putting all of his money into this just to make an album. But now he's got a TV show. I hear he's working on new music. We'll see what happens, man. Number 9, an album that you've listened to the most in your lifetime. This one was kind of hard for me to pick, but I really thought about it. And I picked Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. I think I've listened to this since I was a baby. This came out in '89. I think I've listened to this album like once a month regularly since I was like 10. It has a lot of good songs on there. Zombie Zoo, Free Fallin' is a big hit. You're So Bad, Running Down a Dream, Facing the Crowd. Out of all my records, I'm sure I've listened to this one the most in my lifetime. Show an album with a crazy story.
Well,
so I just started collecting records, and I don't know, I only had maybe 30 records at the time. Maybe it was the middle of the week after I was done with school or something. Me and a friend of mine, we were just driving around town. We drove past one of the colleges that was in my town, and this guy, he was on the side of the road with I don't know, 6 crates of records. And we're like, what is this guy doing? So we just stopped to see what he was doing. And we said, hey, what are you doing with all those records? He goes, oh, I'm going to throw them out. I'm just picking out the good ones I think I want to keep. Me and my friend were like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah, if you want to come over here and pick out the ones you guys want, that's cool with me. And we were like, oh, wow, okay. My friend at the time, he really liked Operation Ivy, and he had this tattooed on his leg, this little guy here. And this was in that guy's crates that he was just gonna give away, throw away, have the dumpster come pick up. An original pressing of Operation Ivy, punk band. We just couldn't believe it. We picked out I think we got 20 or 30 albums from that guy, and they were all for free. He just was gonna throw them away. So, but a crazy story, I would say I picked up this Operation Ivy on the side of a road from an old DJ who was just getting rid of all of his music. The next one is collection pet peeves. This one's pretty simple for me. If you're collecting old albums, you go to a record store, you go anywhere, I hate when they put the price tag right on the album. Because if you take that off, most of the time it's just gonna rip the cover. Or when people used to buy the albums, they write their name on it, either in pencil or marker or fucking crayon, I don't know. Those are some of my pet peeves when I'm collecting. An album or a genre that people would be surprised that I like. I'd have to say Halsey, this album's really good. It's kind of before she was really popular. It's more of an EP. A record from the year I was born. We're gonna go with Beastie Boys, Check Your Head. This is a UK pressing. I also got this from that guy who was just throwing away albums. This was probably the first Beastie Boys album I really got into, and so it was kind of like fate. Number 14 is 10-inch record. And what are my thoughts on 10-inch records? Well, they're not the best format, I guess, to listen to a whole album. Albums that are pressed only on 10-inch, they're kind of more annoying to listen to, if anything. I don't mind them for kind of a collector's edition type thing. That's kind of what this one is. Taking Back Sunday, artist picks. Each one of the band members picked a song that they liked. This came with the greatest hits that they put out, I believe. 20th anniversary of their band, so then they put out this 10-inch, and then they had a kind of a greatest hits album that they also put out with it. But I don't mind 10 inches. I don't go searching for them. If an artist I like puts out a 10-inch, I'll normally try to pick it up. Share an interesting fact about an album or a song. This one's kind of hard because I don't know what people don't know already. So I picked this one because it was the easiest one that I could remember. Bad Meets Evil with Royce da 5'9" and Eminem. They had a falling out when the Slim Shady LP came out. On the Slim Shady LP, they had a song called Bad Meets Evil. And at the end, it says, I'll see you in hell for the sequel. And so years later, they got back together. They were friends again. They made a new album and they called it Hell the Sequel. So it's kind of a simple little fact. I'm sure any Eminem fan already knows that. Next one. Show an album with an animal on the cover. Run the Jewels, Meow the Jewels. It's fuzzy. It's got a little fuzzy paws here. This is their second album. They had some kind of fundraiser or something. If they raised enough money, they would make a whole album out of cat noises. And they raised enough money, and that's what this is. It's just the same album, but with cat noises. The beats are made out of cat noises. There's a sample of Snoop Dogg meowing on there. Fun album, if you ever get a chance to listen to it. album with a crazy cover. I picked The Used, Lies for the Liars. I really like the artwork on this. It's by Alex Pardee. Alex Pardee does the original The Used heart that you see. Great album. Great album. Great album. Number 18. A really good album that you can find cheap. This is more of a pop punk kind of album. A Day to Remember, Bad Vibrations. This album you can find for under $20 on the internet, pretty much anywhere, just for a standard black version. But this is a great album if you're really into the pop punk. If you even like A Day to Remember and you haven't heard this, okay, you probably have heard this. They put a lot of work into this. I'm pretty sure this album came out after they kind of fought their label to be let go from their label, and so they could put out their own music. This is a great album. I think you can find it $17 online. I mean, that's pretty cheap for any album.
Number 19.
An acquired taste. So I like Bon Iver, but when this album came out, I was like, what the hell am I listening to? It's very kind of electronic. It has a lot more synths. And when I heard it, I just could not get into this album. But I went back to it 2, maybe 3 times. And now, whenever I'm in a Bon Iver mood, I almost always go to this one first. It's just so kind of experimental for what he was doing at the time. Probably a year before I actually thought it was good. 22 A Million. Number 20 on the list is my most recent finds. With quarantine stuff, most record stores are closed, but I have bought a few albums online. Say Anything is a real boy. I bought this right before all the Corona stuff happened. It was $15 at my local record store. I have a box set with 10 inches on it, but I mean that's kind of annoying to listen to. So this one I can just throw on a record, flip it a couple times. And then I like comedy albums, so I picked up the new Adam Sandler 100% Fresh. Farley on this album is really kind of a sad song, but such a good album. Thanks for watching my video. That's my vinyl tag. If you guys want to make your own, tag me in it, comment in my video so I can check it out. If you guys could like this video and subscribe, I do post a new video every week. Let me know in the comments what you guys have been listening to, what you guys have been picking up online since we can't really go to stores. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.